everybody, welcome back to another episode of DC Marvel Chat, also known as the Maine Morgue. My name is Jamie Santamore, as always your host. First up this week I want to talk about some news that has been confirmed. And I'm not the first person to report on this, I know I'm not, because I only do this show once a week. But the news is that Matt Reeves, the I think it was the writer-director maybe, of Cloverfield, will be directing The Batman. I think that's an amazing pairing with, Ben Affleck and Matt Reeves. Also this week, not confirmed yet, there is talks of a Nightwing movie, which I don't know much about the Nightwing character, but I'm excited to see what they do with it, because I know this is something that a lot of fans have been talking about. Supergirl this week was something that I'll get into in a minute. I want to go back for a second and talk about The Batman. I cannot wait to see this movie because I'm a huge Deathstroke fan. I hope that Deathstroke is still going to be a part of the movie. I haven't heard anything about the script that was turned in that apparently everybody involved really likes. So if anybody knows if that script is the one that's been approved and they're moving forward with, let me know. Supergirl this week, episode 14 titled Homecoming. This was set up to be this huge emotional roller coaster, and in a lot of ways it delivered on that, and in a lot of ways, for me personally, it fell flat or short. And for me, right off the bat, it was painfully obvious that Jeremiah was working with Cadmus. Why else would they transport him in the open the way they did if they didn't want him to escape or be rescued to get inside the DEO? I mean, there's no other reason for them to do that. Once John Jones allows him back into the DEO and gives him his passcode, what's the first thing he does? He breaks into their computer system. And I mean, he covers that up and says that he was looking at case files of his daughters over the last 14 years because that's how long he was with Cadmus, or captured by Cadmus and held captive. Which, I mean, that turns out to be true. But, so, I mean, and Monel being the only person that doesn't believe him, I thought was very interesting that he was the only person that could see the truth. Excuse me. And I mean, that's because he's the only one without a vested interest. He doesn't know who Jeremiah is, other than when they were in prison with Cadmus, or by being held captive by Cadmus. That's all he knows of Jeremiah. I did enjoy seeing Martian Manhunter and Supergirl working together so closely. I spoke a little bit earlier about the roller coaster of emotions, and nobody was hit harder in this episode than Alex. I thought it was very interesting the way they portrayed this for her as a character, and it's her father. I like the fact that they didn't rely on the Alex-Maggie romance this week like they have been in previous episodes. I enjoyed seeing Alex with her father, and the fighting between her and Kara, about whether they should trust him or not. I thought that was very good, and I mean, that's what something sisters would do, siblings would do. I know I used to argue with my brother all the time. Monel and Kara, fighting at first about her father's intentions, and then she comes to see the truth. I thought that was very interesting. I thought that was very well played out. After the reveal that Jeremiah was working with Cadmus the entire time, there's a cool fight between Martian Manhunter and Jeremiah. And Alex at that point has to eat a little bit of crow because Monel was right about her father's intentions. All in all, I thought this was a very good episode. But I wish they wouldn't have let Jeremiah come back into the DEO fold right away. They should have spaced it out a little bit more. I think that would have made more sense. Instead, it was just like boom, 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 boom. I think it would have been better to see him gather the intelligence over 2 episodes, maybe, and then have him turn at the end of the 2nd episode. Just my opinion. I mean, I don't write this stuff, but that's how I would have written it. And yes, I am a screenwriter, so I do have a little bit of knowledge about how to write things. Not saying I'm better than the writers of Supergirl, but I'm saying that's how I would do it. To me, I wrote that this holds no weight going forward, but it really does, especially when you see in the next episode what Jeremiah had stolen from the computers at the DEO. He stole the alien registration, or alien registry, which is huge for Cadmus, who wants to get rid of all the aliens, like Supergirl and Monel and all these other creatures, for lack of a better word. So that's my thoughts on, on Supergirl. My phone is blinking. It's driving me nuts. So next up we have The Flash, episode 14, titled Attack on Central City. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was very well done. Barry and Iris getting engaged in this episode I thought was awesome and very fitting, considering what's going to happen to her, or potentially could happen to her. Wally and Jesse, that storyline is getting better. HR and Harry are still cool and funny to watch, to see them interact with each other. The battle between Grodd and Team Flash was good, and when Salabar and his troop showed up, I was like, oh, shit just got real in Central City. Gypsy and Cisco are still playing with each other like they should date or they shouldn't date, which is awkward, but it fits their characters perfectly. The next episode looks like it's going to be really good. We will see Savitar and Wally finally come face to face. And I'm sure this is going to cause all kinds of issues for Team Flash, which is good. I can't wait to see how they move forward with this Savitar storyline and see how it all ends. Next up, Arrow. Episode 15, titled Fighting Fire with Fire. And I did an episode of Arrow Chat earlier this week. I actually did 2 episodes. It's something new I'm doing. And I might do it for Flash and Legends and Supergirl. But right now I'm kind of really into Arrow. I'm really digging Arrow. And, of course, that Arrow Chat number 2 was about the identity of Prometheus being revealed. And as I said in the Arrow Chat video, I was floored when Prometheus pulled the mask off and it was revealed to be Adrian Chase. Now, that leads the question of who is Vigilante, because in the comic books, Vigilante is Adrian Chase. So now that they have Adrian Chase as Prometheus, who is Vigilante? Could that be Justin Claiborne's son? Could it be Tommy Merlin? Could it be Roy Harper? The last 2 I just mentioned would be cool for me because I love those characters and I would love to see them come back. And like I said in a previous video of DC Chat or DC Marvel Chat, it might have been on one of the main Morgue posts. Anyways, like I said, with Flashpoint, people that were dead being alive now is very much a possibility. People, I think, seem to forget that we're in the DC universe now that has gone through Flashpoint, and Flashpoint has changed things. So we'll see. I loved the story this week, and I'm glad they didn't impeach Oliver Queen as mayor. I think through the rest of this season, you're going to see Oliver Queen start to understand and acknowledge that he can do more as the mayor of Star City to save the city than he ever could as the Green Arrow. So I think you're going to see Oliver Queen become the mayor and stay the mayor and let Team Arrow go out and do the vigilante stuff, because he makes the Green Arrow a villain this week. Prometheus, or Adrian Chase, wants an exclusive interview with Susan Williams, who is, of course, Oliver Queen's, or Mayor Queen's girlfriend, which I thought was great writing, and I gave props to the writers in my Arrow chat video. But 2 thumbs up to the writers of Arrow this week. Absolutely amazing episode. The fact that Susan has decided to keep Oliver Queen's secret a secret, that he's the Green Arrow, I think is a turning point for her character. I think that she could make a shit ton of money by outing him as the Green Arrow, but isn't going to do that, or at least for the time being. I enjoyed the Curtis storyline this week, and the running balls joke. I thought that was funny. I'm a guy, anything with balls or dicks or farts, we love those jokes. And I knew that Felicity was going to end up joining Helix at some point. To me, this is a little rushed, but then again, if she's going to leave Team Arrow, there's no better time than now. In terms of her leaving Team Arrow, and that's not a definite thing, she might do the hacktivist thing while she's working with Team Arrow. If she does, in fact, leave, I think Curtis could slide right into the Overwatch role and stay in the Arrow Cave and help the team with his tech skills and his able to build tech gadgets. We saw the balls, the T-spheres, I think he called them. That's an amazing piece of tech. I was sad personally to see Thea leave her job with the mayor's office, helping her brother in the mayor's office. But after the things that she's done in the last couple of episodes, and she's done it all with the best of intentions to protect her brother and to protect the Green Arrow, but she's going down a dark path, and she realizes that. And I think that's the difference between her and Felicity. Felicity knows she's going down a dark path with joining Helix, but doesn't care. She just sees it as a way to be a hacktivist and back to her roots, I guess. I'm glad that Susan Williams got her job back, because I think that's an amazing character and something that they can build on throughout this season and into season 6. Of course, we all saw the trailer or the teaser for next week's episode. She might not make it through this season. We don't know yet. Next week's episode, oh my god, is going to be friggin' insane. It's going to be freaking awesome. So make sure you check that out. And I want to know what you guys think. Who is under the vigilante mask? Now that Adrian Chase has revealed himself as Prometheus, who is vigilante and who is Adrian Chase? In the teaser for next week's episode, you hear Talia al Ghul say he calls himself Adrian Chase, which tells us all that Adrian Chase is an assumed name. Is Adrian Chase Justin Claiborne's son, going under an assumed name? Or is Adrian Chase somebody completely different? So let me know in the comments below, or hit me up with an email, or hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter is @TheMaineMorgue, or you can email me, themainmorgue@gmail.com. I want to switch things up and do a little Marvel talk here. And right off the bat, I want to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, no, there was no Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week. They're off until April. But on last week's show, I talked about how I got lost and was confused about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I went back and watched the last few episodes and watched I guess you'd call it the mid-season finale. And I just, the season started off really well with the Ghost Rider stuff. And then it started getting into this LMD storyline. And I think for me, it started sinking fast. I watch the show because I enjoy the characters, but I'm not sure how much longer this show is going to be on my watch list because it's confusing. It's starting not to make sense. They're losing me again, much like they did with the storyline. I believe it was last year. About midway through, I was like, "Oh my God, will you guys just stop? Give us shit we care about." This is something that I think happens every couple of seasons, where, and even for the halves of seasons, where they start off really hot with really good storylines, and then they hit a speed bump and they just can never recover. Like I said, the show returns in April, so it'll be interesting to see where they go for sure. But all this makes me wonder if a 5th season is going to get greenlit, and if so, what are they going to do next? And how will this affect the MCU going forward on the big screen? Because we all know that S.H.I.E.L.D. takes place in the MCU, and what happens on the show affects the movies, and what happens in the movie affects the show. So we'll see what happens next. I want to talk about Powerless next, and this is a show that airs on NBC. There wasn't a show this week. I guess they took a week off, which is fine with me. It's just kind of weird that they would take a week off only a month into the show. But hey, that's way above my pay grade. I really enjoy the show. It's fun to watch. And I enjoy it because it's not about the superheroes. I mean, there are superheroes in the show, but they're not the focal point. It's all about the characters in the world of superheroes that are affected by the superhero battles. And I think that's really cool. It shows a different side of the DC universe other than, completely different than any other DC show. Fellow YouTube creator Juice from the Box suggested this show right after he saw the first episode, and I said, "Oh, Juice usually has good suggestions," so I started watching it. Great recommendation, Juice. I love your videos and keep up the good work, man. I appreciate it. I know Juice probably doesn't watch this show, but I always give a shout out to him because he's my boy and I think he's awesome. Lastly, this week I want to talk about Legion. And this week's episode was titled Chapter 4. This show confuses the shit out of me. And usually I like stuff like that. I like movies that make you think. I like TV shows that make you think. But this show makes my fucking brain hurt. I'm not kidding. Every time I watch this show, I get a headache. Because I'm staring at the TV going, okay, something's going to happen that is going to make this make sense. And then I watch the whole show, and it's still a bunch of shit that I don't understand. I think it's just shit that they wrote and they threw out there, and people that don't understand, that have never read the comic books, just don't understand. And Marvel usually doesn't do that. Marvel can put out Captain America or Iron Man or Spider-Man or anything like that, and we understand it. Because while they're taking stuff from the comic books, they do it in a way that makes sense to the casual fan. Legion, in my opinion, being a casual fan, doesn't make sense to me. So again, if anybody out there can explain Legion to me, please do. Because I like the show. It's visually amazing, but I don't understand what's happening. I understand it's based on the X-Men and a very powerful mutant. I get all that. But can you explain to me the way the story is going? Because it does not make sense to me. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. But if I am, I must be dumb. Anyways, I think the characters are cool. And I'm starting to like some of the characters. But I'm confused about if they're all in his head or if they're real people or what's going on. And I'll continue to watch the show because I think that it'll eventually start to make sense to me. I mean, Marvel doesn't usually screw up for too long. So next week is Chapter 5. And I like that. I do like that part of the show. that every episode is a new chapter. So that's kind of cool and funny that they would do that. So if anybody could help me understand Legion, send me an email, send me a tweet, hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/the Maine Morgue. That's all I got for you guys this week. It's kind of a short show. I'm trying to keep my shows under 25 minutes because with my new opening credits and closing credits sequences, the show runs about 35 minutes. So that's all I got this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, please click the like, subscribe if you guys like my content, and hit the little bell so you'll know when I always upload new stuff. I do plan on continuing to do Arrow Chat, and I'm going to probably start doing Flash Chat and Legends Chat, and probably Supergirl. I want to get more content out there for you guys because it's fun. I really enjoy making these videos. Take care, and I'll catch you guys next week with another episode of DC Marvel Chat.